Welcome to Touch on Air episode 2. Thank you for coming back. First of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's come to us for listening to episode 1, and the feedback that you've given us has been quite heartwarming. It's been really nice to hear that people have been able to get some kind of laughs out of it through these strange times. Been given some feedback. Some of it's been absolutely amazing. That is really helpful because we're always looking to improve. Golo, how are you? How did you find the kind of response to episode 1?
Yeah, no, I'm really good. It's been pretty good, isn't it? It's been pretty incredible. People that I haven't spoken to for a while have reached out and said that they really loved it. They enjoyed every second of it, and it's kind of got them itching to get back on the court, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think one bit that people loved, and it wasn't a surprise that they loved it because it's definitely one of my favourite parts, is the games that we do with the players at the end.
Yeah.
And I had some interesting variations sent to me from Stu Searle, and I just wanted to throw one to you now. I'm going to basically throw you under the bus here because I've on purpose not told you this.
Solid.
So again, if we're picking your perfect player, whose foot fault are you picking?
That's an easy one. That's Alex Ball's.
Balls.
Yeah, his back foot steps in and steps over the line by about half a foot.
Yeah, there's some big ones.
So for sure, it's Alex Ball's. That was easy.
Fair enough. Okay, so if you're a listener and you want to get involved, we'd really like to start the episode with a voice clip of how you found touch tennis. Just something short, just saying hello to the both of us and your name, where you're from, and where your story to where you first played touch tennis. And what we want you to do is you can send that as a voice memo to our direct messages on Instagram. So if you find us at Touch on Air, you can just click the record button, send us a voice memo, and we will use it for the first 2-3 minutes of our episode, have a chat about how you found it. And we want to use someone new every week, and that'd be really, really cool. So if you want to get involved, you want to be on the podcast, that's what we'd like you to do, don't we, Golo?
Yeah. Send them in.
Yes, send them in. So today we've got Adam Hassan as our guest.
We do.
Now, you've known him for a long time, is that right?
Yeah, well, me and Adam went to school together. So we played on the same tennis team at school. And then he was a member and playing in the team at the tennis club that I was coaching at. And I mean, he'll tell you later that's sort of how he got into the sport. And our friendship has been quite a long one through tennis and then outside of tennis as well.
Fantastic. Would you say he's your go-to doubles partner?
100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, there was a phase where I played with Saki. I think that was a couple of years, and we had quite a couple of years, couple of seasons. I think I ended up at one and with Saki. But yeah, just the way me and Hass play together just works perfectly for my game style and his game style.
Yeah. And you've won numerous. I mean, I don't know if you know the number off the top of your head, but roughly how many titles do you reckon you won?
I don't know. I can't. I don't know the exact number. I mean, I can find it,
nice.
But yeah, it's quite a good number.
I bet it is. Should we get him in?
We can get him in for sure. Mr. Adam Hassan.
Boys,
welcome.
How's it going?
How are you? It feels strange not to be dropping into Verdansk when I see you and hear your voice.
I'm used to going on holiday with you boys.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good.
So just start us off. How did you find touch tennis? What was your original experience with the sport?
You can blame your co-host for that. God. I think... God, did you drag me to a tournament? Where did we go?
That probably sounds familiar.
Yeah.
We probably went to Bolton or somewhere.
No, it was more local, the first one. There's no way I would have trekked up to Bolton, middle of nowhere, for the first event. Jesus wept. What was it? I think it was like near Surrey somewhere. Limpsfield, that's the one.
That's where it was.
Wow.
Quarterfinals you got.
Yeah, quarterfinals. Played Velo.
Lost to Velo, yeah.
It was horrific. It was, oh God. I remember the first round match. I was playing like some
Jeremy Taylor.
70-year-old chump. And honestly, I've never been so tight in my life. The tightest you could ever imagine. My whole first service game was just faults. And then I think I started off the first couple of returns. I just like hit the back fence with the ball. It was horrific, honestly.
Was this when you were allowed 2 serves or one serve?
Never played it with 2
one
serves.
One serve at that point. Right.
I mean, could you imagine me having to play with all of this lot with 2 serves? Like,
same with me. I'd be stuffed.
But yeah, no, I was
struggle with one.
So tight, honestly. It was so funny. But then I think we played the Goat and Velo in the final of the doubles, and I don't actually remember the doubles match that much because it was that quick.
It was love and love.
It was love and love.
I've got the scores up here.
It was love and love. But
to you guys?
To us, yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What an impressive first tournament.
Well, you know, we've got to start somewhere.
It was you got 3 back-to-back doubles wins. So we had Limpsfield, then we had Eastbourne, where we beat Mould and Bull in the final.
God, these aren't easy matches.
And then we went up to Bolton, and we beat Mould and the Goat in the final. We had Minsky and Oldfield as well, and Shaq Lady was playing as well, wasn't he? And we had him in the quarters.
Jesus. I mean, we've had some results from the off.
We have.
We have indeed. Benny, can I just ask you? You've got your guns out, and it's so early. It's so early, and the guns are out.
Don't worry. When I came on the call, Golo looked so disgusted with me. He was just like, "You've gone sleeveless."
Like, what?
And I was just like,
"What are you wearing?" Did they at least win last night? Did they even play last night?
They didn't play last night, and they are terrible at the moment.
So you're still wearing the same jersey from 2 nights ago?
No.
I've
got 5. So this is one of them. But yeah, it's just what I wear around the house.
Okay, fair.
But yeah,
fair.
He's
lost his train of thought already.
You've lost me there.
There we go. That's what we're after.
Well, if we move on from
my guns,
from where you started, like you were just saying, we've had some pretty big wins on the singles court or the doubles court. Talk us through like your most memorable match. Like, who was it against? What was the score? Like, where was it?
Oh god!
Because you've played quite a few that I can think of. So I'd love to know what you class your most memorable match.
Most memorable, singles and doubles separate, or?
Yeah, you can do both. Give us both.
Oh god! I mean, there's so many for so many reasons.
There's so many to think of. There's so many. You can give us a few if you want.
Okay, so let's start with one that's definitely not a good memory, but then a great memory in another. In another regard, is playing Brent in Belgium.
Yeah.
I was hanging out of my arse.
Yeah, Rash touched on this last week.
Oh, is this the beer tour or something?
This was the first time that Hass went out pre-tournament with us. Normally when we go to Belgium,
I did post.
We have quite an exciting pre-tournament warm-up, which consists of going into Leuven town centre,
eating horse,
and drinking a lot of alcohol. And normally Hass stays away from that and joins us post-tournament. But we managed to drag him out, and
it was hairy. It was so hairy. Like, have you ever had that feeling? Well, Benny, you probably have this feeling every time you step on the court, but where no matter how hard you think you're hitting the ball, you can barely make the service line. Like, that's genuinely how it felt. Like, every single shot I was hitting, I just couldn't hit it beyond the service line. And then, like...
And it was so hot
in
as well.
between points,
so hot.
I was like...
What year was this?
Like, 2017, 18 is my guess.
Right, so I'm trying to think if I was there, because I remember one of the pre-nights out.
It was 2018.
No, it was the year after
Was
the
that
one you're thinking of, Benny. It's the one after the Macca video where he's
I was going to say the one where...
yeah, no.
But were you at Macca's level on the pre-night out, or were you even further gone the other way with alcohol?
I was loose. And yeah, I just remember in between points, back of the court, just heaving and just it was grim. It was.
He went 2 sets up.
I went 2 sets up, and then the tank just I think at the start in between the 4th and 5th set, I was lying on the bench on court, just lying there.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, 5th set. Probably should have just had a...
Did you win?
No, I didn't win. No.
Round of 64 exit.
Yeah, I think that's the earliest exit I've had in a tourney.
Yeah. I've got your results here. There was a round of 32.
Yeah, I remember that
to
one.
Macca.
Yeah.
And that is it.
In terms of other memorable matches, well, when your co-host had some matches against me in Le Mans.
La Manga. I knew this was going to come up.
It has to.
I knew this was going to come up. This is coming off of a match where I also faced match points against me in the previous round. Eddie Ellis had a volley over the top of the net that he pushes wide for the match. And then, I've choked a... Well, I wouldn't say I've choked a match point.
I don't think you choked it at all. I think he was playing unholy levels, and then I just stayed as close as I could to him. Like, I couldn't touch him in the first 2 sets. Like, anything I was doing was not good enough. And then that 3rd set, especially, I think the match, he was like a good 20-shot rally. And then saved that, held the game, and then closed that set. And then from closing that set, I felt like I had him a little bit, because he was starting to tire, because the levels he was playing in the first 2 sets was just scary.
My legs went in the 3rd set, so I don't know how I even managed to play a 4th and 5th set.
Do you even remember the 4th and 5th?
Sure.
I mean, I also remember, I was touching it really... it seems to be Belgium every time, doesn't it? But I played a guy called Rafa Kuhn, and he, in between, no joke, in between sets, he was smoking a cigar. And I went 5 sets with this guy. And
he was a beast.
Just an absolute animal, sliding on the clay. These are the kind of draws I get first round out in Belgium. Whilst Golo draws like yourself or someone, I've got this Rafa
tough draw
Kuhn guy, and he's just an absolute beast. But
and you beat him?
I somehow beat him. Yeah, I did in five. But if you...
That's a lot of cigars, 5
Yeah,
sets.
if you saw my serve back in those days, you would have creased yourself. It was...
Well, it's not much better now.
It was damp. It was very damp. It's not better now. It's definitely not any better now.
When we had the GOAT on last week, he spoke about how he loves your ability to be able to just at any point hit a forehand, trigger down the line. Has that, since kind of tournament 1 in Lipsfield, has that been something you just think you had? Is that through tennis? Or did it come about after a couple of events? That sort of shot, because that is really effective. You've made a lot of touch tennis highlights because of that shot.
I mean, I think it's something that has carried over from tennis, but I think it's because I'm more than happy to trade with most people going cross court into their backhand, and so they just gradually move closer and closer to their backhand side, and it leaves a slightly bigger gap for me to go into. So I think it's a little bit of chess, to be honest, where
Yeah.
You know, I'm just waiting for the right opportune moment. But I used to play in tennis, just go big off my forehand. Like, even if I was 3 meters behind the baseline, I would still try and hit a winner.
Right.
And, you know, like, Golo's nodding because he knows that's literally all I would do. I'd just try and hit a winner. I mean, I just had the biggest bunt backhand ever. Still do to this day. Just don't do a lot with it. Just bunt it back in court. But as soon as I got it on my forehand side, size up a zing.
Unleash the zinger. So 2021, when we're allowed to get back on the tournament circuit, what are your goals? Obviously, we don't want a first round exit to Brent or Rafa.
Yeah.
Where would you like to see yourself at the end of the year?
Like, this is where I struggle, because I am competitive. I am. But I also don't see the point in playing if I'm not having fun on court. And I can think of so many matches where if I just applied myself a little bit more to the competitive side as opposed to going for the highlight reels and trying to maintain having fun on court, then I probably would have won a couple more of those closer matches. So I think 2021, to be honest, because we just haven't played, I just want to get back out on court and have fun.
Yeah.
Like, you think of any of the tournaments we've been to, it's not only playing the big matches that counts. They're great, don't get me wrong. It's great to go deep in a tournament and feel like, you know, you're doing well. But, you know, even when we were in Valladolid, you know, playing bluff for 4 hours after playing a singles semi, a doubles final and a singles final, all on the same day, all on a very taxing court for me, and yet we still went out there and played like 4 hours bluff after. I think we were playing bluff the night before when someone else was finishing up one of their matches. We were playing bluff at like 9 o'clock. Everyone else had left the tournament and we're still there playing bluff.
Yeah, I do miss the tour. I really do miss
so
the
I think
tour.
in terms of like results wise and stuff, I'm not that bothered. Avenger loss to Mioto maybe might be quite nice, but other than that, I think I just want to get back out there and just having a bit of fun.
Fair enough. I think you speak for most of us when you say that, because it's just, I mean, look out the window now, it's hammering down rain. But even if lockdown wasn't on, I know right now I'd go outside and play in the rain, because I'd just do anything to be on a touch tennis court. Right, we're going to try build our perfect touch tennis player with you.
I've been dreading this. I heard you with the goat last week, and it's not easy. Like, it might sound really easy.
It's not easy,
but it's just not. There's so many good players.
I tried to predict some of his, and we didn't even get. I think I got one, which was
Have you predicted mine?
The first one.
Okay, I need
roughly.
to try and predict mine, because I don't know if you're going to have mine.
Okay.
I don't even know what mine is.
You're going rogue, or do you know yours?
I'm only making mine up as I go along, and I might not do it in the same order as whatever you say. I don't know. We'll try and we'll just see. We'll see who pops to mind. Although I do know Georgie Smith is not popping to mind, so yeah, let's just
or any of these. Not even mentality.
I mean, he's got a great mentality, but for a 5-year-old.
Or banter on the Tinder.
If Tinder banter was an option, then you could. All right. So whose serve you picking?
Okay, I'm gonna pick 3, and then I'll narrow it down to 1. But just to give you some context, I think that's what I have to do. So obviously, again, your co-host, big serve. It's heavy when he hits it as well. That they're the ones that. But again, it comes down to how long he can maintain hitting that serve for before he gets tired.
Sustainability.
Obviously, like, Mioto's serve is huge. Like, it's just the sheer speed that it comes down at. It's and the pressure that he puts behind the serve. But and then the other one for me is Strucel.
The cannon.
It is a cannon. Like, when it comes through, and it goes over my head. Like, what am I meant to do when all 3 of them are hitting serves that bounce over my head?
I mean, Valladolid, that was just nuts. That court because it was quite a thick Astro. It acted like a trampoline, so the ball was bouncing and then like springing off. So I was literally, Hass was returning serves with a smash. Ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous.
I remember the event that Stu actually kind of developed that serve. It was 2016 Ebersham, January, and it literally kind of came out of nowhere. Literally, all he said was like, "I just thought I'd just try hit it harder," and then from then on, he just had like a bigger serve. There was like no kind of like technical change. He was just like, just hit it harder, and it worked.
It is a cannon, though. It's an absolute cannon.
It is a cannon.
Okay, because we're building the perfect player here, and you're going to take into regard like that they're going to have the mental toughness and the physical demands to be able to do it over and over again. I'm going to go with your co-host.
Yeah.
So Golo on the serve.
Go Golo.
I'll take that.
Again, I'm one
You're
for
one for one.
I had Golo down. I had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 for 1. Whose forehand you taking?
It's a tough one because this is definitely his thing. Is the forehand. So
Forehand. So obviously Macca's is huge. Don't know if he has the variety on it though. That's the only thing. It's just big or big.
Yeah, that's your options.
Pretty clear cut. But then because I think sometimes like with Al, his forehand, you don't really think about how big his forehand is because you're just so in awe of the serve. You just look at his serve and go, it's a huge serve. That's all he's got. And, Rash touched on the fact he has good volleys, but, he doesn't, he's still got to break people. He's got to return well. He's got to, and it's a big forehand. So, I'm literally giving 3 for every answer here. And it's just really hard to work it out. So
I'd say it's tough to break down his forehand for sure.
Yeah, I would go Al. I think I'm going to go Al.
Me also.
Yeah.
Interesting. I had a bit of maybe a rogue one, Elliot Mould. I thought you were going to go with. I can't remember whether it was you who's playing that, but I just remember there was a event at the NTC and just had this suddenly out of nowhere had this amazing ability to play this kind of like soft cross-court ball. It was almost like a drop shot. Time. But he just... Yeah, but so clever. And also from I was quite new to the sport then. And I think for most people, when you see the sport, your original thing is like, I'm just going to hit it as hard as I can, like it's a sponge ball. And then you see one of the best players actually winning points by hitting it incredibly delicate. It was quite interesting to see. Whose backhand you picking?
I mean, your answer's probably the GOAT because, look at that smile. That
Can you see my paper?
Smile,
Cover my paper.
He just knows. He knows. Right, so there's...
All right, I'm going to change.
I'd be picking the GOAT's return. That's
the GOAT's return.
On his backhand.
On his backhand. If you can narrow it down to one shot, there it is. Do you remember... God, this is more one for you. I always thought he was a very big backhand. Was Ben Churchman.
Yeah, his groundies were solid, really solid.
Big. So, and I just remember watching him hit a few backhands and I was like, that is big.
I always ended up on the other side of the draw to him.
Yeah, same here. I never played him once, but he was a good player.
Yeah, his movement onto it as well was good. His movement through onto the backhand and his transfer of weight. I'm
going to say Churchman, actually. I'm going to say Ben Churchman.
Beautiful. I actually had Joe Horn down there, and I'll tell you why. Is just because of the ability of being able to flatten out the backhand down the line.
That's so
There's quite
true.
a few highlights on the Touch Tennis Instagram page.
And
but just really good ability to be able to do that.
I've played doubles against Joe quite a few times and traded forehands cross to her backhand. And I'm... and then she's gone line and she's passed Golo up the line with that because she's just the ability to flatten it out. Ooh.
Yeah, I had exactly the same. Played with Harry Harris. We played against Joe Horn and Stu at Pensford. And she just absolutely crushed Harry on the cross-court rallies. And then, I'm not very good at net anyway, but when that backhand came to me, pretty much game over. Whose net game you taking? You're more than welcome to split this into singles and doubles if that makes that easier for you.
Net game. Can we come back to the net game? Let's do it. Movement. Sure. I don't actually understand how we didn't even talk about it, but it's got to be Robbo. How are you not mentioning Robbo for movement last week is beyond me. like beyond.
You're never
me.
hitting a winner pass.
That's my prediction now.
Like,
you never hit a winner pass.
His movement, and it's not just the way he reads it. His actual speed on the court is unreal. So like, I don't even need to debate that one. Like straight up, Robbo.
And it just doesn't. It doesn't get worse over the day of a tournament. I mean, I remember Belgium. Literally, just by chance, met him on a train in Belgium on the way to the event.
You stalked him, didn't you?
And yes, I stalked him, got his autograph, and then I mean, I think he won it that year. And even afterwards, he was still just wasn't phased. Like I spoke to him, and he said like fitness is fine. Like so, just longevity of matches. He can just maintain that ridiculous speed.
I was chowing down on a McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
With his shoelaces undone.
That kills me.
With his shoelaces undone, yes.
Never done up.
So
I think I've only ever seen him do them up once.
I've seen it, yeah. I think I've seen him do them up once as well.
Whose mentality are you picking?
Okay, definitely not your co-host.
What?
No.
What do you mean? I'm like the most mentally stable person on tour.
Okay, mentality.
I guess it depends how you define mentality. Like what... For you, how would you like to be on court? Would you like to be cool, calm, collective, or would you like to be almost like a Mac and Neve sort of scenario where you get fired up?
Like Lucy Coles, like when she plays, always having fun on court as well. Like, and that at the end of the day is what we're all here to do. So if you're talking about mentality, like always smiling, always wanting to have fun, struggling to concentrate as most of us do out there on court. So in terms of touch tennis,
she's always enjoying it, for sure.
Like in terms of touch tennis, that's the kind of attitude you want when you play. So if I'm coming at it from like touch tennis, like the whole purpose behind it, I would say like Lucy. But if I'm looking at it like cool, calm, collective, you've got Ash Neves. Like, you never know whether that guy's winning or losing. Actually, I have seen him get really irate a couple of times. Just a couple of times.
Wow. Was that against his brother?
Yeah, I've seen that as well. That's fun to watch, though. That's probably one of the best matches to watch. And then, I had someone else in mind, but I can't remember now, so... obviously can't be that important, so let's just not worry about that anymore. I'm gonna go with Lucy because I want to be on court having fun. Like that's what it all comes down to for me.
Interesting.
And then
before I
is it net game?
Well, I was going to. We chucked in a rogue one to Golo earlier that I got given by Stu So, and I quite liked it. So I just wanted to dish it to you just to see whether you give the same answer as Golo. Do you reckon he'll give the same answer, Golo?
I think he might.
Oh.
Yeah. Whose foot fault are you picking?
I mean, 90% of the guys who serve cannons, foot fault.
Foot fault.
Right, let's be honest, they do. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm actually going to name and shame a few that I know off the top of my head. Why not? That's what we're all here to do, isn't it?
Yeah, go for it.
God, so Mokes has got a bad one, hasn't he? He goes for a right little walk before he hits a serve sometimes. I think Al sometimes crosses the centre line, but never like into the court. I mean, I think rumour has it that the GOAT sometimes foot faults. I've got to be honest, I've never seen it. Like, never seen it myself. But there's rumours that he's almost touching the service line by the time he's hitting his serve.
Yeah, they exist.
But that's, they're just the ones that can't compete with the GOAT. So they're trying to find a way to beat him. Can you guys think of any? We might as well just name.
Well, you haven't picked Golo's yet. And Golo was the one that I had in mind.
No, not me.
No. Who I picked? Yeah, Golo doesn't foot fault.
I went Alex Ball.
Oh my word!
his back foot.
Oh, he does go for a walk. He's tiptoeing over the line before he's doing those fast feet. before every serve.
Yeah.
No. Oh, but then, see, that's the thing. If he didn't foot fault, Bully's serve is up there as well. The amount of rip that he gets on it. But I suppose if I was hitting a kick serve from the service line, I'd probably be able to get the same kind of rip on it. So, you know. Oh, wow. That's a heavy one, isn't it?
Let's go back to net game. I actually have Bully down for net game here.
Yeah.
Your prediction.
The Jedi.
I
The Jedi.
rate his hands highly. Although there's only one thing that we just need to clear up on air right now. The guy's been tagged. Like, there is no way every time he goes, never been tagged. Like, let's be clear. I've been on court with him a few times and he's been tagged. But his volleys are a scandal.
So just for context there, for people that don't know, Alex Ball claims that he's never been tagged. But we're pretty certain he has.
He definitely has. He definitely. Okay, if it comes down to, okay. Well, actually, you know Eddie Ellis. One player I just never understood how he cannot translate his volleys from tennis to touch tennis.
Has he got good tennis volleys?
Like, honestly, even when we were like 15, 16, he thought it was Tim Henman. You know, he brings out the old Slazenger bats, the pro braided, and he's chip charging, coming to the net, doing anything he could to get to the net. And as like a 15-year-old, you're like, what are you doing? Like, play from the back of the court. And he like, his volleys were just so good. But as soon as he comes on a touch tennis court, like, yeah, they leave a little bit to be just like, wow, I'm being brutal today,
savage,
aren't I? It's this lockdown, it's getting to me.
He's venting.
I don't think I'm vented, but so it's all about fast hands. When you play touch, it's all about fast hands. Golo's got great hands. Mioto's got good hands at the net. Stu's got good hands at the net. The pump, you know, with his unorthodox grips, you know, you never know. You never know.
You never know.
I have seen the GOAT hit a volley like with his back turned to the court. It's just pirouetting.
I witnessed that first hand. Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people's volleys are underestimated when it comes to touch. I will go. I think Bully is a great shout. I mean, I just can't forgive the foot faults. Now you've mentioned it.
But that doesn't affect his volleying skills.
Yeah, that's all right. You've got Golo's
serve. No, but it gets him closer to the net, doesn't it?
But you've gone my serve, so
yeah, fair.
And then Roberts' movement in to then have Bully's volleys.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Whose backhand? Oh, I went Churchman's backhand.
Yeah, Churchman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a naughty.
It is a naughty little player, isn't it?
It is. Can I choose height? Height. Jesus. Yeah. Like, it's like playing NBA with you like now.
Okay, so
yeah.
The next little game that we've got is tag, partner, and bagel. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 names, and you've got to pick who you would tag, who you'd partner, and who you'd bagel out of those 3 names.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go with Laurel, Scar, and Stasia. So who are you going to partner, tag, and bagel out of those 3?
Oh, that's tough. Okay, well, one's really easy.
I think I know who you're going to tag.
I'm definitely tagging Scar.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. every time we play him, right, we tag him, and he just accepts it. He just goes, yeah, come on, hit me again.
Hit me again.
So, yeah, like, Scar's definitely getting tagged. This is the tough bit for the next one is because I'd actually really like to partner both of them. And so that's why it's tough. I think it'd be really fun to partner Stasia.
Who would you least like to give a bagel to then?
Well, I've given Laurel one before.
So you give him again. Just keep dishing.
You know
keep dishing him to Laurel.
Just keep dishing him bagels. No, but the thing is, I'd love he's improved so much. I'd love to play doubles with him. I think we'd be quite a good team. I think he could learn a little bit from me. and hopefully I could learn a little bit from him.
Two lefties as well. Oh.
Yeah. Because he's getting a lot more rip now, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think I'd stick him on the forehand side because he likes hitting the forehand out wide, and I'd take the forehand down the middle. Oh,
so then you're Bagel and
Talk that one up. No, I'm not. I'm going to partner Stasia because I really want to.
Curveball.
Yeah, a curveball. But look, he's had one. He can have another. It's,
Okay, cool. So we've got one more, and the three names are Murphy, Ince, and Emily Webby-Smith.
Oh god. This is really hard because it's Murph, isn't it?
He's too nice to tag, surely.
What are you doing? No, but that's the thing. He can take it. He take it like a man. Okay, so first one is... God, I'm sure this was with you when we went 2 sets to Love Down against
them. Yeah. It was.
Yeah. So for that, because of the wizardry behind, he was genuinely Dumbledore on court that day.
He couldn't miss.
Couldn't miss. And we were like, what is going on? Honestly, spells everywhere. I'm going to Bagel Ince because, I was tight on court that day. So Bagel Ince, and then I've got to tag Murph. I've just got to. He'd take it like a champ, and then I would partner Emily because again, I think it'd be so much fun and she's unbelievably talented.
Yeah.
So she'd probably be bossing me around, telling me what to do the whole time.
Brilliant. Well. Yeah, no, Hass, thanks so much for joining us on episode number 2.
It's been welcome.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
That's all we got time for.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, well, the sun's not out. I wouldn't really call these guns. You saw my push-ups last night. They were abysmal.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like Gola said, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to seeing you back on court. Hopefully it's not too long. I don't know if you heard last week, obviously, in April, the GOAT is opening up his barn if the lockdown is not on for people to book in slots. I know I'm definitely going to be booking one of those slots. Are you guys going to book a slot to go get cuffed?
Yeah, I'll go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, Hass, thank you ever so much for coming on. And we look forward to seeing you soon.
Cheers, boys.
See ya.
See you later.
What a great guest to have Hass on.
Yeah, brilliant to catch up with him and see where he's at through lockdown and where he is with his touch and his mentality of it all and how he just wants to get back on court. Yeah,
I love the fact that the top player or one of the top players, don't want to say the top player, I believe that's yourself at the moment, am I correct? You number one?
I think so.
Yeah, I love how one of the top players of the sport, when he looks at, we're building the perfect player and he goes for mentality and he just wants somebody that has a great time. And to be fair, Lucy Coles is a great pick. She's one of those people that when they, I always love this, when they shake hands at the end and you see that bit, you don't know who's won or who's lost by her reaction, which is always really nice.
She's always first at a tournament and always last at a tournament as well, helping out and that. So yeah, she is. Yeah, she's just what you want from a touch tennis player, isn't she?
Yeah, but it's nice to see that Hass goes that way in terms of mentality. I mean, the amount of I wasn't a great tennis player, but grade 4s, grade 5s that I go to, and the person who's number 1 seed thinks they're absolutely unbelievable and that they're going to win Wimbledon 4 times. And then you go to touch tennis and you've got a previous number 1 in the world, and it's just all about having fun. And it's just, as a first-time player, if you're someone listening to this podcast that hasn't played and you want to come to an event, that's just such a welcoming trait to have, which is really nice. Right, just quickly before we go, so just a reminder, if you want to get involved in the podcast, send us a voice note in our DMs on Instagram. Let us know how you first found the sport, and we will add it into next week's episode or one of the episodes coming up. That'd be fantastic. Again, this podcast is always available where you're listening to it right now or any other place. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the whole lot. And we're also on YouTube, aren't we, Golage?
We are on YouTube,
we are, yes. And
so if you missed the first episode, go and check that out on YouTube because you get to see all the new GOAT.
Yes, the new GOAT rackets
and merch, yeah.
And we're also on Instagram, so give us a follow. Touch on Air is our handle. Thank you for joining us. Again, thank you, Golo, and we will see you all soon.
Yeah, see you soon.